Good afternoon, it's Mr. Leatherwood and
Ms. Mitchell.
And today we're going to talk about equivalent fractions. First, I think it's important that we talk about what equivalent means. So here's the definition for equivalent. Equivalent is going to be equal in value, or it's going to be the same. And an equivalent fraction, get our little definition here. An equivalent fraction are fractions that are the same value, though they may have different denominators. So the denominator, the bottom number, may be different, but they actually equal the same value. And so we're going to start by looking at 1/2. And I've got the fraction of 1/2 over here, and I've got the picture of 1/2 over here. Uh-oh. I'm moving things. Now, I know that it's 1/2. Why, Miss Mitchell?
Because 1 out of 2 parts are shaded.
Very good. I also know that if I cut my 2 parts into 4 parts, now I have how many sections? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my bottom number, my denominator, is now going to be a 4. But how many are shaded?
2 out of 4.
2 out of 4. And then I also know that if I cut these parts into smaller sections, I have, let me grab another color here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. So my whole would be 8 parts, but how many are shaded?
4.
4. So I haven't changed how much is colored in, I've just changed the amount of parts that we have out of our whole. So we can say that 1/2 is equal to 2/4, which is also equal to 4/8. And we could continue to cut them up. For example, let me do that one more time. I could cut these in half. And now if we go back and count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So now my whole is going to be 16 parts, but how many are shaded?
8.
8. Yay!
You know, without having to count each individual box, I noticed that that's a 4x4 array.
Oh, you're so smart. So now we know that 1/2 can also be equal to 4/8 if we want it to be. 1/2 is equal to 8/16, and 1/2 is equal to 2/4. Now, if we look at the math part of it, let me get rid of these annoying little arrows here. Miss Mitchell, how did we get, for instance, if we were going from, let's get some more room. I'm going to get rid of our pretty picture, I think. Let's see. I think I'm going to get rid of it. Oh, I don't like that shakiness. This means we're going to get rid of a lot more. That's okay. We'll start from scratch. So let's start back with our 1/2. And we know that that is equal to 2/4. If we're just looking at the arithmetic of it, or the math of it, how did we get from 2 to 4?
I know that 2 times 2 is 4.
Okay, so 2 times 2 is 4. How did I get from 1 to 2?
Well, 1 times 2 is also 2.
Interesting. So we multiplied by 2 on the bottom, and we multiplied by 2 on the top. Or we multiplied by 2 over 2. Okay, let's try another one. So we know that we could go from 1/2 to, sorry, making some marks here. We could go from 1/2 to, what did we do earlier?
4/8.
Now the question here, how did we get from 2 to 8?
2 times 4 is 8.
Hey, sure is. And then how did we get from 1 to 4?
1 times 4 is 4.
Now looky there. So you may notice a pattern. We multiplied by 4 on the bottom. We multiplied by 4 on the top. Or we multiplied by 4 over 4. Interesting.
Let's do another one.
Okay, let's do another one. Here we're
Can
gonna-
I try this time?
I guess so. All right, so let's try another one. We're going to do a little bit different here. 1/2 times something is going to equal 8/16. We know earlier that 1/2 and 8/16 is equal to each other. So, Miss Mitchell, what did we multiply to get from 1/2 to 8/16?
2 times 8 is 16.
Okay.
And 1 times 8 is 8.
Very good. So we multiplied by 8/8 to get to 8/16. Now Miss Mitchell said she wanted to try, and I took her thunder. So let me pass over the pen here,
I'm nervous.
and she can try. Let's give her a nice little purple color. She seems like a purple kind of person.
What if I did something other than a half? Could I try that?
Sure. Try
Okay.
something tricky.
Let's do 3/4.
That sounds good.
Okay, so I've got 3/4, and I know that 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8, and I'm going to prove that by showing you the math. And I'm going to choose a new color, and orange for my cowboys. All right, Mr. Leatherwood, how did I go from 4 to 8 in my denominator?
Well, I know if I divide 8 by 4, I get 2. So I think 4 times 2 would give me 8.
Excellent. That is great, great, great.
Oh, how sweet.
And how did I go from 3 to 6?
Same thing. If I divide 6 by 3, I get 2. So I think 3 times 2 is going to give me 6.
Wonderful job. So if I take 3/4 and I multiply it by 2/2, I'll get 6/8. Mr. Leatherwood, what have you noticed about both the numbers in my numerator and denominator of all these problems?
It seems like whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. Or whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top.
Yeah, it has to be the same, doesn't it? The same number.
It does. Okay, so let's write that out. So let's get rid of this little guy here. So let's write out our little rule. So our rule, whatever we multiply on the top, we multiply on the bottom. And we'll talk about what top and bottom are a little bit later. Oops, that's not good. Oh no!
Where did it go?
We'll have to try that again. See, teachers mess up too. It's not just y'all.
Oh, I think my kids see me do that every day.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Alright, so let's try this again. Whatever we multiply on the top, here, will be snazzy. Numerator, we also multiply on the bottom, which is the denominator, much like the terminator,
But different.
but different. Let's make it bigger. There we go. There's our rule. Nice and big. What do you think?
Fabulous. I
Fabulous.
feel like that's probably an important rule.
Very important rule. Maybe the most important rule when it comes to equivalent fractions. Okay, one thing I wanted to point out is when we multiply by something over itself. So 1/1, 14/14, 2/2, 8/8, 4/4, 116/16, anything over itself. Anything. Miss Mitchell, maybe you can answer that. What does that represent?
It is equivalent to 1 whole.
Very good. I'm going to draw a nice little picture here. My block 1. Equals to 1 whole. No matter what it is, if it's over itself, it is equivalent to 1 whole. I really just like drawing, that's all. Aren't they pretty?
Beautiful.
Here, we'll get really pretty. do another color. 1 whole. Oh, it's got to bump in another one. Oh, not a very good one. See, I need practice. So anything over itself, 116 over 116, 1,000 over 1,000, 1,000,000 over 1,000,000 is all going to equal 1 whole. That's why it's okay for us to multiply a fraction by 1 whole is going to equal the same value as another fraction.
Oh, because anytime you multiply a number by 1, it doesn't change the number at all.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Okay. So numerator and denominator kind of talked about. Miss Mitchell, what is the numerator?
The numerator is the number that is at the top of the fraction.
Very good. And the denominator is the?
Number at the bottom.
Oh, tough definitions. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to give you some example problems. You can pause the video and practice figuring out what do you want to do? What to multiply to get to an equivalent fraction?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So let's try, we'll start with 4/6. And we're going to multiply that by something. And that's going to give us, what do you think? Let's try 12/18.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one that you can try. Let's do another one. Pick a number, any number.
3/5.
Okay. 3/5 times something will equal, let's see, how about 15/25? That work?
It does.
So pause the video and see how you do. Okay, now that you've paused it and solved it, we've got 4/6 times something equals 12/18. Miss Mitchell, any ideas? Or let me ask you this. What does it have to equal in those boxes? The numerator and the denominator, they have to equal something.
They have to be equivalent to 1.
They have to be equivalent to 1. Very good.
So I have to have the same number.
Has to be the same. Always the same.
Well, let's see. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 4 times 3 is 12.
Okay.
And if I have to do the same thing, I would check my work and say, is 6 times 3 18? And it is, so I know I must be right.
Very good. So we multiplied 3/3, which is equivalent to 1, which gets us to 12/18. We did the same on the top as we did on the bottom. And how about 3/5 times what equals 15/25?
Well, 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. So if I'm going to check my work, is 5 times 5 25? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And 5/5 would be equivalent to what?
1.
Would be equivalent to 1. Did I do the same on the top as I did on the bottom?
You absolutely did.
Then I am correct. Yay. Slobbery smiley face.
Gross.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm a boy, that's what we do. We'll do big smiley face. Good job.
Yay.
Hopefully this helps you with equivalent fractions. We'll give you some extra practice to work on as well. Thank you, and good day.
Peace out.